mission, and I don't know if I have enough of this, and looking at it now, I'm like, I don't think I prepped enough, but we'll see. We'll see. If we didn't prep enough, then we'll just have to prep as we go. It's just the way it'll have to be. Okay. We ready to make a mess? I hope so. So just cleaning up the tips. Well, trying to clean it up, doesn't want to let go. Alright, that's fine. Whatever. I can stay a mess. Okay. Alright, so we're on the bottom half here. And I can't pull that up any further. That is on the edge. Okay. We may have to go this way then, so we can at least get all of him in there. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom this guy in a bit. Okay. That should be alright. Okay, that's working. Okay. Alrighty. And let's get the glue started. So, happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Halloween. For those that celebrate. I know not everybody does. We acknowledge it. We don't really decorate. I'm sure if we had the money and the energy, we would. And if we lived in an area where we got more kids, we might, but right now, Christmas is more our jam. Getting that spread out. Like I said, I don't want to go too thin here, because number one, you don't want it drying before you get to it, and number two, you want to make sure there's enough to grip it, because the paper is going to be a little bit thick, especially you're doing the little circle guys. I was twisting these for probably over an hour last night, and I was like, that's gotta be enough, right? Well, to be fair, while I was twisting them, I was also doing photo research on Unsplash, so desperately trying to find some reference photos for an extra Christmas present that I wasn't planning on doing. We are so bogged down, you guys. We may have to do extra art streams for this month. Like, we might have to, either pause Minecraft or Planet Zoo. Or both. As much as I don't want to. We may need to. We will see. I do know I'm gonna have to dig out my my craft paint from under my desk, because I'm gonna need that. Because I don't think I've got the right colors for what I'm wanting to do in the Arteza paint. And the craft paint's going to be a little more flowy, and I'm going to need the more flowy for what I am needing to get done. Okay. So we've got our dragon's blood incense going. Like the only scent that doesn't ever give me a migraine. That, balsam fir, and red cedar. The red cedar and balsam fir can sometimes make me a little stuffy though. I think because it's tree. It's like real bits of tree that you're burning. But the red cedar, I've only been able to find it from Thomas Paine. And they've only had it in like the little tiny cones. They're like, yay big. So they don't burn for very long in the cone. But they also, the cones don't want to stay lit. And we had talked to them about it, or talked to somebody that sold them, and they're like, yeah, it's because they're thrift boxes. So, the thrift boxes aren't as good of a quality. But they don't sell the red cedar in anything but the thrift boxes. So I'm like, ugh. So that's sad. Sad panda. Okay. Stuff the main scent that we've been burning lately has been from Wildberry. You can get it on Amazon, but it's still from Wildberry. Like, they sell on Amazon and on their own website. They had an awesome store in Smithville in New Jersey that had all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't think it was specifically a wild berry store. I can't remember what the hell the name of the shop was, but they carried so much of the wild berry stuff. They had, I think they might have had Yankee candles too. I think it was actually a candle store, but they just carried so much wild berry merchandise that it kind of took over half the store. But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was a Yankee Candle store. Or at least that's what they had at one point primarily sold. I don't even know if they're still in business after this past year, because I haven't been home in some time. But they had some Biggie sticks. They had all kinds of different scents. It's hard to smell the different scents when they're all in there kind of on top of each other. I mean, they had a couple other ones that weren't terrible, but this particular one's been the most consistent with it not giving me problems. I don't know why I started layering these, but I just kind of did. I don't know, it kind of works. Okay. For some reason I started layering them and I started putting them in like a teardrop shape. That one's gonna unravel. Alright. That's not too bad. I mean, I guess with the layer, the gaps aren't too problematic, because you're just seeing more of the paper underneath. Alright, so I've got my dad's gift I have to paint, I've got the mother-in-law's gift I have to paint, I have my mom's gift I have to paint. And I have to plan them all. I have an idea for my mom, I think. I have to go back through my Unsplashed book and, well, my Unsplashed account and see what I saved. Because I remembered looking at photos before for hers, but I don't remember if I saved any. I was saving photos for the mother-in-law's last night. The father's gift, I haven't had the chance to look on Unsplashed yet. I don't think they're gonna be able to help me very much. Oh, a really loud truck. We'll see. I was gonna do a couple different ones for him, but I'm not gonna have time. I'm gonna have to just pick one. Just because I just don't have time, because the other two gifts are gonna be a bit more involved. I think so. That could be a slight problem. At least as far as time goes. Because we still have at least a week to go on this, I think. I mean, it does depend on how much we get done today, but I'm thinking at least a week. And I do have some other things that need to get done this month. I've got two different, minimum of two different articles for the website that need to be updated. Possibly three. I can't remember when Winter's Veil starts. I don't think it goes the whole month of December. That might not start till like December 16th. I don't know, for some reason I'm pulling up that date. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Just gonna push everybody down in here. Make sure everybody's seated. All right. Okay, let's work on this section back here. If it wants to ever come out of the bottle. Okay. So getting this all worked in here. Just get a little bit up on the other edge there. Okay, let's see how that does us. Okay, so we haven't had to pull out any more yet, so that's good. Okay, this section, I was thinking of doing 3 different colors, but I don't know, maybe we'll just go with 2 different colors. I was originally just going to go with the 1 color, but I think there was a couple different shades of green or yellow green going on in there. So I should probably try to get those in there. All right. So let's get on this piece that's decided it's just going to completely unravel. Unraveled too far. Sometimes you can salvage the unravel and get it to go back in without picking it back up again. Other times, not so much. That's okay. It happens. And if I put a little bit of glue on my fingers and ran it over these things before I twisted or before I rolled them, it would probably, well, not probably, it does hold them a little bit better in shape. However, it does make it a lot messier on the fingers. So that's gonna be for you to decide if you really want to trade off on it. And if we weren't layering like we are, it really wouldn't be happening all that much. Maybe happening a little bit, but if we were like nestled down in against each other flush, then the sides of the other pieces would be helping to hold like all the little tails and stuff in place. That one was being a little bit problematic, so we'll just drop him down on top. And we'll just kind of go with that. All right. No, lay down. Ugh. The crunchy ones, like this color, also tend to not want to hold their shape as much. So, something else to think about. So, I mean, you might be better off running a little bit of, and I don't mean a lot, like it doesn't need to be dripping, like just enough, like a tiny little dab. See, that one we were able to get back in place. Okay. So I hope everybody's having a good weekend or had a good weekend. Anybody giving out candy today? Are you having trick-or-treaters tonight, or did you have them yesterday? I know some areas will do it, like, if it falls on the weekend, they'll do it, like, Saturday afternoon. And other areas are sticklers for it. Nope, it's gonna be on Halloween, no matter the day, and some areas do it at night. I know our whole town was like in a tizzy. Oh, when are we doing trick-or-treating? It falls on the weekend. When are we doing it? When are we doing it? people like on Halloween, because they did trunk or treat for the fundraiser for Shop with a Cop last night, or yesterday afternoon. Like, everybody's like, calm down, guys. They do it on Halloween here. Although, to be fair, the city never actually put out an official statement, so. But we, not that I saw, put it that way. But we're not doing candy. Didn't have the money to go buy extra candy. Candy's expensive. Like, looking at those bags of candy, like the bulk bags, even at Sam's, holy shit. Like, sacrifice your firstborn child. Like, I don't know how people buy like 7 and 8 bags of that stuff. I'm like, oh my god. It's like $200 on candy just to hand out to people. That's a lot of money. Like, where the hell do you live? I mean, we would have some kids at the one house we lived in Jersey, but I don't think we ever ran out of candy.
Not when you were here.
Huh? In New Jersey?
Oh, in New Jersey? No, I don't think we ran out in New Jersey.
No, the most trick-or-treaters we had in this house that I remember was like 4.
Yeah, no.
Because we're on a...
There was one time where it happened.
Because we're on such a busy street here, nobody ever comes by. But when we did do candy in New Jersey, we also had all of the dogs and the St. Bernard. And we would, we had latches on our storm door that kept it closed tight because the dogs would push against it and pop the lock. So we had eye hooks that we put against it to help hold it closed. And we'd take the screen out of the top of the door so that we could reach through and drop candy in people's bags. And so we didn't have to open it with all the dogs as well. And many people were taken aback by the 150-pound St. Bernard head that would show up. He wouldn't bark. Not all the time. Sometimes he did. But people were actually afraid of him. I'm like, he wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yes, but he was a very, very large dog.
He might drool on you. Oh, that was always so gross. Every time he got a drink, you had to, like, be aware that he was getting a drink. Ugh. It was always a disaster. He was an alright dog. His head was level with our kitchen table, though. And my parents seemed to think that he was just the best boy in the world. And my dad had made a sandwich or my mom had made it for him, and he had to go to the bathroom, so he left it sitting on the kitchen table. And he came back, and half his sandwich was gone, and St. Bernard was sitting there staring at the other half on the table. He had, because of course my dad left it near the edge of the table, so the dog kind of tilted his head, turned it sideways, and nosed the one half closest to him so that he could eat it right off the table. Dad was pissed. It was his dog too. He's like, "Where's my sandwich?" I'm like, "Well, you didn't teach him any manners. Where do you think your sandwich is?" Let's evaluate the situation. I didn't touch it. I don't like what was in your sandwich. And who's the only other one in the kitchen? What have we learned from this? Not to leave our sandwich that close to the edge of the table, or even on the table. Should have left it on the counter. He couldn't reach the counter. He might have been tall, but he wasn't very agile. He was very much trying to drive an RV through a field of china teacups that were not spaced very far out. He pinned me a couple of times to the couch and I could not get up. I was like, I have to move. Do you think he would move? Hell no. Always made me nervous when it was icy on our back steps, so I'm like, oh, please don't slip, please don't slip. He loved the snow, though. He would go outside and just flop down in it. I'm like, sir, you're supposed to be going potty, not laying in the wet snow.
Well, I'm fair, it was the St. Bernard.
Yeah, but he wasn't full long hair. He was a mix of long and short hair. And the one day he was just laying out there. We hadn't even realized it had started snowing. He had gone out into the yard. And we suddenly were like, the dogs are being awfully quiet outside. And we looked outside. He was just laying there. He had so much snow on him. He got up and he left a blank spot on the ground. I'm like, oh God. It's like, get in here. You are soaking wet. He was so proud of himself. Oh, damn. No. See, you weren't supposed to do that. You were supposed to hold your shape there, my friend. I was so bored last night trying to find something to listen to or to entertain my brain while trying to work on my flying for Shadowlands, and I ended up watching the one webcam for the Miami International Airport. They've got it set up so that you can see the runways. Well, some of the runways. The one set of runways. And they've also got it set up so that you can listen to air traffic control. And the webcam has an external mic on it, so you can hear the planes take off and the traffic and things going by. And I don't know what was going on. I don't know if there was a nightclub nearby or one of the hotels was having a party or the restaurant was having a Halloween party, but oh my goodness. There was all kinds of shitty club music playing in the background of that camera, and like, I don't think it was a Halloween party because I never heard any Halloween music at all. Because, you know, you'd expect to at least hear, you know, the standard go-tos once in a while. Never heard a single Halloween song. And it was still going at like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, wow, where is this shitty music coming from? Like, my goodness. Shouldn't we have had last call by now? Like, what is happening? It's pretty crazy. Do, do, do. Do. Alright. So I was trying to get the extra little glue bits off of my fingertips. See if we can get him kind of squished into there. Okay. Cat is going to be the death of my sanity. Alright. So I know I said I was going to try to start a little early today, and we kind of started. Uh-oh. Come on, internet. That was a hell of a drop. Are you going to behave now? Our internet's fairly good. Past couple of days it's been a little weird. I'm not quite sure why. That was a ton of frames that got dropped there, though. That was odd. Unless somebody was loading up a movie. And it slowed it down. I don't know. Ah, get off my fingernail. Alright. Might be holding steady now. So, I didn't get started as early as I wanted to, but I was tired. Still am tired. But we still got started before 4, even though I'm supposed to start at 3 on this one. That was when I was actually, you know, when I wasn't having to stay up till after 3 for the dog. That one's trying to unravel. I see you trying to unravel. You're doing it real slow, like, so I don't notice. But I see you. I see you there. Alright, so we've got two little spots, I think, that are big enough that they're gonna be an issue. So we're just gonna put that on there. And start to catch up on this side. Alright. So just gonna spread that out in that spot. And just kind of get this spread out in here. Again, you don't want it too thin, because you don't want it to dry before you get there. But it helps to make the glue go a little bit further. If you can at least try to get it a little spread out. That brush blotted up there. Okay. So I'm gonna get this one. Set up there. Probably gonna have to hold that one for just a moment. Uh-oh. Dropped it. At least I found that one. That dark green, man. The dark green one. We dropped it. It was gone. Alright. And that section should hold. This guy settled in there. All right. Okay, so we are 45 minutes in today. Have to keep an eye on that frame rate drop. Okay. So far it's holding. So that's good. Finally got all the bloodthirsties, well, all of them. I got the 4 ready for this Wednesday. This Wednesday we're only doing 4 because we're doing testing. on the moss skip as well. And we'll see about maybe taking the level 50 pacifist in there. Don't forget to take off all your gear, guys. I have to go in and do that on my guys. And see about getting that situated. Because with the patch this big, especially on my pacifist, I need to get that gear off. Because they had mentioned something about finding a way to make the starting gear obtainable. And I'm like, okay, you could just stick it on a vendor, but alright. And it kind of made me nervous because that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be white. For all I know, they could make it at the Dark Moon Fair. Wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I really wouldn't be surprised. So, I had a feeling. So I definitely want to take my gear off to make sure they didn't change the quality of what I have on. Because the big pacifist that had hit 120 has been sitting at 50 forever and a day. Because I just couldn't do any more archaeology right now. She has that starting robe on. I never took it off. I didn't see a reason to. Because I wasn't supposed to be in combat anyway. And if something hit me, then I did something wrong. And I really want to get back to work on down in front, but like I said, I don't have my flying yet. And I thought I was being gate kept with just the 3 daily quests. Or the daily quest. I say 3 because I don't usually remember to go do them till I have 3. But apparently I can get renowned through Corythia, and I didn't realize that, so I need to go and work on that tonight. Because I had started to work on it, and then I'm like, but I've got other things I need to do. So I was like, this is silly. Not realizing that I could get renowned from there, so... Alright, get this guy who wants to unravel because he's tiny. Alright, we are going to need to pull more out now. Hoping we've got enough to at least get this body done. Like, I have enough paper. I just don't know if I have enough twisted. Though my fingertips do look like they're turning slightly bluish. This dye is pretty potent on this color. The only other color I've had that happen with was black. Where it started to try to dye my fingers. I can see a little bit in like the bits of glue that are sticking to my fingertips here, where some of it's trying to leach off. Okay. Alright, still got a little bit left in the bag. I don't know. You know, I was looking at what I had last night and I was kind of questioning how much I had. And I was like, I don't know. You think this is enough? And the part of my brain that's like, yes, we have other things to do. Overrode and won. And I'm like, if you think so. But now that part of my brain that was questioning it last night is like, you know, I don't want to say I told you so. Because we're not quite there yet. But I reserve the right to say, I told you so, that we didn't have quite enough. Alright. So again, we're just using regular old tacky glue. Nothing special. And regular old tissue paper. The kind that you would get from like the greeting card section in a store. Whatever store, the party store, the supermarket, whatever, that you would shove in a gift bag. So really nothing all of that special. See that one trying to unravel ever so slightly. That's probably because it's not completely seated in the glue. Oh, that's gonna be a tiny guy. Oh dear. Alright, let me see. Can I squish you into there? I will say doing these layers like this has made the back of this canvas very taut. And very, very stiff. In this section on the back. I was like, oh, I mean, we did put a lot of glue down, but I mean, this glue's a little bit flexible. A little bit. Not a tremendous amount, but all right. So while I give that a second. Okay. So, looks like we dropped a couple more frames. It needs to stop doing that. I don't know why it's doing it. I haven't seen it go red light, green light recently. So I guess that's something. I mean, it could have been from the magnetic storm. I was disappointed. We didn't get to see any of the lights last night. I looked a few different times. Nobody could say like what time to expect it. And I was seeing some people saying that they couldn't see it. And I was looking on some webcams and I didn't see it getting picked up on different webcams either. So I'm like, was the timing off for this? Or what? I don't know. Oh, yeah, we're gonna need a lot more looking at the space that we have left to fill. Severely underestimated that, but I did have other stuff that I had to do last night, so that's okay. We'll figure it out. I mean, we've twisted them as we've gone before, so not a huge problem. Okay, we'll figure it out. Okay. And this one, I can already see, is gonna be fussy. Okay. Get that cleaned up. Well, we're gonna try to. Come on, glue bottle. See, don't be problematic today. Alright, so this is where we're gonna start to get into the bigger sections. We're gonna have to start working in smaller chunks again. Because I feel like we're not going to be able to go the full width here without something starting to dry. Okay. So let's keep on going here. This guy's gonna be fussy already. It's okay, we gave him a little bit of glue on his edge there. Just to try to help hold him together. He was just unraveling at the seams. So are you. Okay. There you go. is gonna be okay there, little piece of paper. You're gonna be okay. Look, you're here with your friends. Okay. Say if I have to get a little bit of glue on the edge just to kind of hold them together, I will. Because if it means less fussing. These things aren't fuzzy. Oh gosh. Words today. Too many F words that sound the same. All right. This in there. And moving on. Or it can stick to my fingers instead. That's not helpful. All right. So what are you guys up to today? Working on challengers, getting ready for Halloween tonight. What are you all doing? I'm just gonna take a second to degunk my fingers here, because they are gunky. Okay. So, gonna keep on gluing. All right. So, originally, the mother-in-law was going to be leaving tomorrow. That has changed. She's going to be staying longer now, because she needs to make a doctor's appointment. So I guess she'll be here until that happens, so she doesn't have to drive back from Oklahoma. Alright. Oh, my neck's very poppy today. It's gonna get down to 28 one day this week, supposedly, for a low. Like, what? What is that? These frames need to stop dropping. At least we're not playing a video game, so it's not as bad, I guess. But, I mean, it is her house and all. But she was so set on, I'm only here for a visit. I'm like, okay. But we will see what happens with that. Guess it really depends on when she can get her doctor's appointment. We have to fill out paperwork for the lawyer. Doctor's appointments have been made to drop off paperwork for them, but this we have to send back in as soon as we can. So we're probably going to work on that tomorrow, because this is separate from the doctor stuff. So very, very busy. So lots of stuff to do, and my neck has been angry, which has not been making it easy to get stuff done. That's for sure. Yesterday, I finally got rid of the migraine. And today, I can feel it in my neck. It wants to come back. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I mean, obviously, I don't have a choice in the matter. Migraine trumps everything, but like, I really just don't have time to deal with this. So, hopefully, it will behave. Although, I think this one might be from the way I was sleeping. My pillow felt very strange last night. I felt like it was jacked up weird. It's been nice having Russell in the bedroom again, though, because he hasn't had to stay with the cat. Keep her from going batty. Because she gets pissed if, like, he swaps the cats around and, he puts the cat back in her room when the mother-in-law is not here, before both my parents go to bed, because she likes to hang out in their room. And, if he doesn't go to bed or go in there to stay when he puts her back in there, she gets mad. I'm like, Kitty, you've had free run of the house all evening and afternoon. The other one has to come out of his timeout place. It's only fair. She's like, no. Oh, goodness. And Little, oh my goodness, the kitten, Little Bits. She is not happy the mother-in-law's here. Oh, she does not want anything to do with her. This isn't just being shy and needing to warm up. Oh no, she is terrified of this woman. I don't know why. Although it is kind of funny that she hates my parents. She still swings at them, and she's seen them. They've been here the whole time with her. She's like, no. She'll go in their room, and she'll roll around on the floor in there, but if they try to pet her, she's like, no, don't touch me. My mom's like, you can pick her up. I'm like, yeah. She doesn't like to be held very long, but yeah, I can pick her up. She'll follow me to the bathroom and take 20 minutes to decide that she wants to come in with me. I'll hold the door open for her. I'm like, are you coming? I was like, I have to pee. Can we make this decision a little bit faster, please? And then she'll walk back out away from the edge of the door and sit in the hallway, and then I shut the door and go to sit down, and then I hear scratching at the door. Meow. I'm like, can we make up our minds, please? And I let her in, And then she's purring. Happy as can be. Happy, happy cat. She's a piece of work, that one. I don't know if she'll ever be a lap cat. I think it's too soon to say. Because she's still very rambunctious. Wants to run with the boys. Wants to give them a hard time. Which I'm fine with that. She can give them a hard time. I'd rather her give them a hard time than her cower in fear like the other one. So, hey, that's fine. Because she's just playing. At least it appears she's just playing, but nobody's come to serious blows, so we're like, okay, that's probably just playing. We still have at least one mouse up in the attic. There were two investigating the small traps, and one got caught in front of the other one, and the other one took off, so now I don't know if we're going to have a problem catching that last one. It's probably not going to come near the traps now. So that could be a problem, but we caught one in the house. Ed did. And he wanted no one to have it. It was still sort of alive when we got it away from him. And we dropped it off in our release location. And we caught, another one in the trap the next morning. But I think we still have a chunky boy or girl up there. We can still hear something moving around. But this one doesn't want to have anything to do with our traps at the moment. So I don't know if they figured out another way to get in and out. But we need to figure out what that's all about. But we're slowly getting there. We heard the coyotes out again last night. That will never cease to stop, just chilling me to the core. Russell had stepped outside for a minute to get some air, and we were standing out on the porch, and when I had come out, because I was making sure that the outside cat had some food for later, when I had opened the door, I thought I had heard something, but I was like, oh, it's probably just the door creaking, and then I heard it a few minutes later when he was standing out in the front yard, and him and I both kind of looked at each other and were like, yeah, nope, and we both kind of went back inside. We weren't sure how far away they were with the way sound travels around here, but we're like, that's okay. We'll be coming in now. No thanks. And then he stepped out a little bit later. I don't know. Maybe a half hour later, and he still heard them going, and I'm like, but they sounded like they were coming from a different direction. A little bit further down, so either whatever they were tracking was being stubborn, or they had found something else. Don't know. Oh yeah, we're gonna need a lot more Looking at what I've got left and the ground that still needs to be covered. This is all we've got left, so yeah, we're gonna have to twist a lot more. I was hoping to squeeze in another art stream tomorrow. If we do, it's gotta be early because the husband has D&D at 5 o'clock. Oh, there we go again, dropping frames. Stop that. Doesn't seem to be affecting us too bad because we're just doing art today, but I haven't seen the preview buffer. So I don't know if there's an issue going on with where I go through. I know something screwy was going on last night because our speed test was all kinds of wonky. Because I ran one because one of the webcams I was watching kept buffering constantly. I'm like, what the fuck? So I ran a speed test and it had our download way slower than our upload, and I was like, that's not right. So something weird was going on. It could have been from the storm, from the magnetic storm. Who the fuck knows? Alright, I don't think there's quite enough left there to grip, so let me clean off my fingernails and we'll get some more glue going here. But we'll see. Okay. Grab these. Sometimes you'll get like the little glue flakes stick to the paper, and it's fine. It's not a huge deal because most of the time they will melt into the Mod Podge when you go to put it on top and won't really see it. But I do try to pick off the more obvious ones just to be on the safe side. It might take us all of today to get this section done. Looking at where we're at, like if I didn't have to twist anymore, we might have it might have been more optimistic to get to the rest of it. Like we wouldn't be finishing it. But I really wanted to finish this with you guys. I mean, we've been together so far on this project. It would seem a shame not to finish it together. So we'll see if because I don't know if he's I don't know if he has D&D on Tuesday too, because he has a group that he's running for. And then a friend of ours that's in his Tuesday group is running a game for his friends that Russell is a part of. And they just started doing that. So, I mean, we could always do a late night art stream on Monday after they're done. That's a possibility. Because, I mean, I have to be up till like 3 a.m. anyway. So we could do that as a bonus stream tomorrow. Don't hold me to that. It really does depend on how I'm feeling. No promises, because this weather has been less than pleasant to my body. But, think about that. Because I really do want to get this wrapped up, so I can concentrate on other things. And I'll just get my other stuff, come on, done earlier in the day. Well, did I drop one? I felt like I threw one, actually, like it was stuck to my finger. I don't see it though. I thought I heard it tap. Maybe it was this. There's my wire. There we go. The frames just keep ticking up the longer we're going. Alright. Very strange. But yeah, so I need to find some photos of Lake Lenape in Mays Landing, New Jersey. And I have to figure out how on earth I'm gonna put that photo together, or painting together. And I might need to abscond with the art pad from the husband for a few hours, but he's in the middle of working on a project for Lita that kind of ties back into what she hinted at on the show over the weekend. So I don't want to tie him up because his is time sensitive as well, and he's doing full digital. So I might, like, I'm definitely going to need it for, well, maybe not. Like, I feel like I'm going to need it for the mother-in-law's project, but if I had more time to fuck with it, I would definitely use the art pad for that. Because I'm going to try to sort of do not necessarily a mosaic tile thing for hers, but sort of. And it would be nice to use the art pad to lay in my idea around the image. But I don't necessarily think I have that kind of time to dick around, because we weren't thinking she was gonna be here for Christmas, and now she's like, oh yeah. And Russell, I said, well, Russell, we have to figure out what you're doing, what we're doing for your mom. And he's like, she's probably not gonna be here, I'm not worried about it. So I didn't worry about it a month ago when I could have been working on planning it. So now I have to rush through that. No. You need to stay put. Come on now, we were cooperating so nicely. Let's keep up this cooperation, shall we? Because the more time I have to fuss with you, the less we get done. I really prefer the softer tissue paper, but you can't pre-feel your tissue paper, so I guess that would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Just have like a store with like samples where you can touch it and see if it's crunchy or soft. I guess that would be kind of like, okay, sure. Kind of those ones where you like side eye somebody and it's like, all right, we're gonna go over to the next aisle in the store. You have fun with that. But I'd much prefer to get the tissue paper from Dollar Tree if I could, but the last time I was there, they didn't hardly have any. At the Dollar Tree that I went to. They had some white. And I can't remember where I got the black from. If I got the black from Dollar Tree or if I got it from Walmart. I really don't remember. So I went to a couple different stores. And, so they had the white, and then they had like multi-packs that had patterns on them, and I'm like, oh no, the pattern's not gonna work. That's just not for what I'm doing. So that was sad. It looked like there was hooks for other colors, unless those were gift bags that were out of stock, but they just didn't have what I wanted. But we did find something on Amazon, so that wasn't too bad. You do have to watch Amazon's prices, though. They're not always the cheapest game in town. They're really not. I had thought about ordering from Party City, and in the end, it probably would have been cheaper to go with them. But I did get a larger color selection going through Amazon. So, I mean, if I had known specifically at the time what colors I was going to need, providing Party City had all the colors, I would have just gone with them. They don't always have all of the colors I'm looking for, though. Ordering it online was a little pricey, but you did get a bit more. You got like the larger packs of sheets, so it would have gone a lot further. So I would say you definitely want to price out and do some window shopping. And definitely know your product, because I know the little bottles of craft paint are super expensive on Amazon. Super expensive. Like almost $5 for a 2-ounce bottle when I can get a similar product from Walmart for 50 cents. So watch your prices. They're not always the cheapest. Sometimes you have to do the work and do your pricing, your price comparisons. But then other places, they're like other things, they're not so bad. Like the tissue paper, I think it was on sale though. I don't know how much it was on sale for, but it was $10 for a pack of 360 pieces, which isn't bad, but they were like this size, like 9 by 12, or well, this is 11 by 14, so they were like 9 by 12, kind of like standard piece of paper size. And it was 10 sheets and 36 different colors. There seemed to be more greens and reds than there were in the blue family. I mean, there were some blues, but I felt like there was more greens than anything. Okay. No. Alright, well, if that's really where you want to live, I guess I can't stop you from living there. I mean, I could, but I don't think it's worth fighting with you over. I mean, somebody's got to live in that spot, right? So... So we still have some of this, but like I said, I don't think we're gonna have enough done. I think we're gonna have to get some more here. But that's more than fine, because we've got a whole Ziploc bag still pretty full of this color. This was one I had to order separately. This wasn't part of the multi-pack I bought. I ordered this specifically for this project, and there was a couple other blues that I had wanted. Sorry, I'm just trying to degunk my fingers here so we can get this guy seated in here. Alright. So this one's trying to dry a bit faster on us here. Okay. All right. Get that one in there. Oh, he's coming together. The dark section of his body is almost done. Almost. Alright, hopefully that will actually hold there. So we will get this next guy. Get him kind of squished into there. To keep getting all the extra glue that's sticking to my fingers off of them, because then the paper wants to stick to them. So I'm sure I'm going to be a right mess by the time we're done here today. But that's okay, because you know what? Sometimes you gotta get messy. I mean, are you really having fun? Well, I mean, having fun with like needle embroidery and stuff, you wouldn't be that messy, but like other stuff, you're really having fun if you're not covered in it. I mean, I guess you could be covered in like little thread fibers doing needlecraft. Oh, I can't wait to get our needle felting stuff. That's been a long time coming. Okay. Getting that in there. Okay. I know. You need to stay. Stay a while. Okay. Yeah, we got this glue a little bit thinner than I probably should have. As you can see in spots where it's trying to dry in there. Okay. We're getting there, Mr. Peafowl. I'm trying to get you there. So, I haven't had the chance to work on Flamingo Falls lately either. Between not feeling well and the extra time being spent trying to get my flying and wow. Because, you know, I'm late to the party always. But this time of year, like I said earlier, very, very busy. Alright. You're still being fussy. Alright, I might need to add another one on top down there. Or maybe we can add you. Right there. If you'll stay. Whoop, that would be fantastic. So I might start putting down in smaller sections when we have to start twisting some more stuff here. Just because it does take a little bit more time to twist and roll at the same time. Oh geez. Alright. Why with the internet problems today? Could we just not today? Apparently that's not meant to be. Alright, grab the next one. you into there as you decide you're just gonna be all sorts of hot messness in here. Just doesn't want to cooperate here. Say that's no good. Need a little guy. Grab the little guy. Put that in there. Nope, 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 nope. You need to sit. Okay. My messy ass hands. Okay. Alright. Get that guy in there. You alright?
Yeah.
You vanished for a while, so I'm just making sure.
Oh, I got in the shower.
Okay. Wasn't sure if I had to come find you. All right. Get this one twisted on up into there. I think we can get one more in there. I guess we'll take this guy. And we will get you kind of sat in here. That one we're probably just gonna have to hold for a minute since it's kind of sitting on the edge as the curve starts to happen. Okay. Let me find... Alright, so let's see, we have a lot more blue. So fear not, we have plenty. Okay. So let's work on our next little spot here. If the glue's gonna cooperate here. As I say, I'm gonna work in smaller pieces and then we do that. Alright. So let's get this spread in here. Alright. Get that cleaned up. Okay. So we should have enough to at least get this section done before we have to start start twisting. In theory. But I guess that also does sort of depend on how we lay them in here. If I had not been doing this weird kind of layering bit, I probably would have had enough. I don't even know why I started doing the layering. I just kind of did, and then I was like, alright, let's just keep going with it. So just kind of was like, alright, sure. Alright, that in place there. That there. All right. So I'm just dipping the one end into the extra glue there just a little bit. I'm like barely touching it. And then I'm kind of wiping it off a little just to spread it. It's not really doing a whole lot. It's doing a little something, but nothing dramatic. Okay. So what's everybody's favorite candy since it's Halloween? What candy do you see and you're like, oh, I need it, I have it, I must have it, I have to have it. Get out of my way, give me all of it. Or are you not a candy person? I think my favorite, I don't really have a specific Halloween candy, but candy in general. I have some that I like, and then I have like, oh my god, those are mine, I will fight you for them. The Lindor truffles, I will fight people for. Those are mine. They're very rich. You can only eat them slowly or else you're not gonna feel well. Butterfinger, 1000 Bars and Heath, and the Hershey Crackle. Hershey Crackle's good. I love me a Mr. Goodbar. Very much a chocolate and peanut person. I love Take Fives too. With the salty and the crunchy from the pretzel, and I'm a big fan of those. It's hard to find bags of Take Fives around here though. We usually only see them up at like the checkout where it's like only 2. But I love me some Lindor truffles. The Ghirardelli chocolate squares. The dark chocolate's good. And the chocolate with the caramel in the middle. Those are good too. They're kind of like a caramella, but they're much thinner. Much thinner. And I occasionally like a lollipop. It's usually like those specific chocolate ones or hard candy. Jolly Ranchers are okay. I'd much prefer a lollipop though. I'm not a fan of Tootsie Rolls, so I don't like the Tootsie Pops. Like the taffy stuff I can't really do. Those kind of annoy me, so I'm not a saltwater taffy person at all. Sometimes I can do the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls, but not all of the time. Sometimes they annoy me. And I've got a lot of dental work too, so I have to be careful with what I'm eating. Don't want anything to happen to those expensive crowns that are in my mouth. Because, oh boy, were they expensive. And that was with insurance. Excuse me. Pretty sure they were $400 a piece out of pocket with insurance. And then the second one, he almost didn't end up doing it. Because he's like, you know your tooth's broken below the gum line here on this tooth, right? I'm like, what? I'm like, no. You're the first person that's mentioned this. He goes, yeah. It was a root canal tooth. And he's like, I'm torn as to whether or not we should do this crown with it being broken underneath. He goes, but it would be a shame to rip it out after you've sunk this much money into this tooth. But at the same time, he's like, I don't know how long you're going to be able to keep this tooth. And I really didn't want to go through having it pulled. And I'm like, just put the cap on it. He's like, all right. So he's like, we'll do the cap. And he's like, but if this ever starts to bother you, then you're probably going to have it pulled. And I'm like, yeah, probably. But it's been okay. Because I had fixed the side of that tooth so many times. But I was a pansy about getting the cap put on, and then I didn't trust the dentist that I was seeing. Because he kept fixing the side of it, and then he's like, you really need to get your wisdom teeth taken out. And I'm like, but they're not bothering me. He's like, yeah, but they really need to come out. He goes, and I don't do those, so you'll have to go to somebody else. I have somebody I can send you to. And I'm like, it felt kind of pushy. And I'm like, why are we going to touch something that's not a problem? And it made me pause. And I'm like, what are you getting out of this? Because you're pushing this awfully hard for something that doesn't have a cavity in it. It's not infected. Like, what is happening? And I'm just like, okay. I just kind of said, yeah, okay. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not going back there. And I'm terrified of the dentist, so finding a new one was hell. But Russell found one that he kind of liked, and I really liked this guy, and I felt bad that I had to move after I finally found somebody that I was comfortable with that could deal with my dumb ass. Because I get so tense sitting there, and I'm so petrified that he would notice how tense I was. And he's like, he would stop what he was doing. He's like, it's okay. You're all right. He goes, relax. Like, you don't have to be so tense. It's going to be okay. So I did like him. I still didn't like going, but it was still scary. But now we live down here, miles and miles away from him. I don't even know if he's still in practice, to be perfectly honest. It's been a while. Alright, yeah. I keep hoping that I'm just like second guessing myself, but no, I'm not. This isn't enough. Damn. Yeah, so we might be doing a late art stream tomorrow. We will see. And by late, I mean like 9-10 p.m. late. We'll see how I'm feeling. Not really late for me. For me, it's kind of like mid-afternoon based on when I wake up. But, we'll see. Either then or Tuesday afternoon if Russell doesn't have his D&D group. And I don't know if he's doing it this week or not, because one of his members is moving across the country. And they were kind of vague. Like, it was very sudden. They, like, the one week they went to go look at something, and so they skipped, and then he came back and he's like, I'm moving, so we can't play this week. I'm like, you found some place to go that fast? And they don't know how long it's going to be for him to get internet set up or any of that. So, or, you know, what he's doing for a job and if he's even going to still be able to play on that day and time. A lot of unknown factors at the moment. That I guess they might know more about on Tuesday. I don't know, we'll see. So you might want to subscribe to the Twitter account. That's at NiseyBGN on the Twitters. Because most of the time I remember to post when I'm going to go live here, there. And if you don't want to do the Twitters or you don't do Twitter, that's fine. You can also turn on your notifications here, and that will also tell you when I've gone live. So there's more than one way to figure it out, especially if I'm going live with a bonus unplanned stream that's not on the schedule. Oh, that's a gap. Let's see if we can slide you into place before you completely dry. Still feel like that's a bit of a gap there. Sorry if my head's in the way. Okay, so time to degunk the fingers. Very important, so we don't end up wearing half of this. Okay, so we've only got a little bit left to go here. Let's see about getting this guy's body filled in. I was thinking we'd gone a little heavy on the glue there, but now I'm like, oh, maybe we didn't. Maybe we actually went a little light. Okay. sure my edges have some on there. Okay. So go ahead and clean off the glue brush. Very important. Don't let that glue set up in there, or you'll be trying to find a new glue brush. All right. You can see the dye and the glue around the edge of my stylus here. It's not too bad, but it is noticeable. Okay. Traffic's getting loud. Oh, did you remind her that the lights are going to be off?
No, I did not. I will do so in a minute.
Okay. We don't have candy to give out. I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I don't want people coming to the door and be like, trick or treat, and I've got nothing but old Tootsie Pops in the fridge. And they're the mini ones.
Okay, I will admit the idea of handing out candy canes for Halloween is kind of amusing to me.
Yeah, we've got candy canes in the fridge too.
But we'll pass.
That we had got on clearance as an emergency. We need some kind of sugar in this house or we're gonna go crazy. So I mean, if somebody knocks, we do have something. Although I'm sure the looks that we would get for handing out candy canes for Halloween would be something. But can you really complain about free candy though? I mean, I'm sure some people do. I mean, I'm not the kind that can just eat whatever. I actually never ate that much of my Halloween candy when I went trick-or-treating. A lot of people gave out Tootsie Rolls, and I guess because you get more in the bag for the price. But I didn't like them, so I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. I think my parents got more of my Halloween candy than I ever did, just because I'm like, no. And then I kind of hit the point where I was like, I'd rather just go buy my own candy. Although about at that point, in the one neighborhood that a couple people and I would go trick-or-treating in, we were getting looks and they're like, aren't you too old to be trick-or-treating? And I'm like, I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not out on the street drinking or doing drugs. I'm going trick-or-treating on Halloween. What is your problem? We were polite. We weren't mean. We had our manners. We always gave to the high school kids that came to our house because there could be a fuck ton other things they could be getting involved with that are no good. But you're really gonna tell them that they're too old to be trick-or-treating when they're just trying to have fun, you know? They were polite, they weren't rude. Let them have some fun. Especially if they're not hurting nobody. And that totally unraveled. I mean, now if it's like a 20-something coming to the door with no child in tow, then it's kind of like, alright, but they're still in high school. Besides, maybe they were out with, their younger siblings or whatever. Alright. I don't know. I didn't really care. But that's just me. But yeah, we don't really have anything to give out besides refrigerator candy canes and tiny mini Tootsie Pops that were Russell's that he didn't finish eating. I think he actually might have 4 or 5 maple lollipops in there, like the gourmet ones that have been in there for the past year that he never ate. So I'm sure that's not something people would get all the time down here. Because these were from New Hampshire that his mom brought down. But I think he said the sugar got funny in transit because his mom brought them down and the weather was a little warm when she brought them down and she didn't put them in a cooler. So they got a little crystally or something. I don't know. He's like, they don't taste right. And I was like, alright. Well, I don't eat them, so you need to figure out what you want to do with them. You are 2 hours into trick or treat, not one visitor so far. Wow. I think ours was supposed to start at 6. It's not quite 5 yet. Excuse me. Oh, that snuck up on me. Sorry about that. Whew. I haven't heard anybody out walking around either, but then again, we're on this busy road, right? And we have neighbors on either side of us, but neither one of them are decorated for Halloween. The house on the other side of the people we live next to is decorated, but I don't always see the kids there, so I don't know if it's like a they're only there some of the time thing. But I think they might go around the block and trick or treat in the neighborhood behind us. I was kind of surprised that the church wasn't doing anything today. A lot of kids went to trunk or treat last night. At the park. Because the sheriff's department had taken pictures of the crowds. There was a lot of people there. I was a little surprised, but I guess with trick-or-treat not really happening last year. I guess people were chomping at the bit, so to speak, to get out there this year. We've seen a few houses decorated for Halloween on the street behind us. a couple houses together kind of went all in on inflatables, and one house kind of decorated their front yard sort of like pirates, skeleton pirates, and they had an old boat with no motor on it sitting kind of like a rowboat, sitting on the front lawn with some skeletons in it and like pirate outfits. And then they had like skeleton hands sticking up out of the ground and stuff, and some other inflatables. And house across from them had a variety of inflatables, and then another house like right there together had a few things. They were kind of the bulk in that section that had decorated for Halloween, though. I just can't wait to put my Christmas decorations up. That's gonna be fun. Get my lighted flamingos out there. We have to clean up the front yard before we put the Christmas stuff out. Sorry, I'm hearing this weird noise. I'm trying to place it. What is that? Oh, it's either a vacuum or like a leaf blower or something. It's something with a whiny, obnoxious motor coming from outside. At least I think it's coming from outside. It's very loud. To me, it's loud. It's probably not that loud. I think everything's loud. Let me get some of this. I need to kind of set you there. I mean, some of the neighborhoods around here have a lot of kids, so I'm sure some neighborhoods are gonna get a lot of trick-or-treaters. But, I doubt anybody right here is gonna. Okay. Well, we're getting there. I'm still not sure I'm gonna have enough twisted here to finish out the body, or at least this section of the body. I mean, I think we're gonna have to twist some. Maybe not as much as I was thinking, but nope. You need to not unravel there. But yeah, the last couple years we purposely bought candy to give out. Nobody came. And we had like some pumpkins carved outside and they were lit, and front porch light was on. We didn't get anybody. I didn't even get pumpkins this year. We didn't have the money to. There was no money for pumpkins this year. But that's okay, because we weren't going to do candy anyhow. Alright. Well, that seems to be holding there. Get the extra glue off of my fingers. Alright. And let's jump back in here. There it is. I was like, is it clogged? For a second, it looked clogged. Okay. Let's just go ahead and get that worked in. I have no idea what that noise is. It doesn't really sound like a leaf blower, but maybe. It's still going. Unless somebody is inflating Halloween decorations. Although it could be our neighbor working on something outside. That's possible. He has like a workshop and stuff. He could be sanding something. Alright, get that dried off. And on to the next. On to the next. Hey, Mrs. Rockuru. How are you? Kind of sounds like a vacuum running, though. I don't know. I don't know what they do over there. They're okay. Alright. Let's keep it going. Good, the annoying whining noise stopped in the background. I have our window cracked open because it was a little stuffy in our room. So we did have to turn the heat on the other night. I just can't believe it's gonna be down in the 20s one day this week already. Like, ooh, hello winter. Last November we still had the air conditioning running. Like, what is this? This is crazy. Although I don't think we really should have been running the air conditioner in November, but last November it was just warm enough in here that we had to for the guinea pigs. Because they're very temperature sensitive critters. They can get hypothermia if the temperatures fall like into the 50s. You alright?
Yeah, just making food around my mother.
Oh god, what kind of mess is out there?
You already knew the kind of mess that was out there.
Huh?
You already knew what the kind of mess was out there.
Yay. More dishes. We don't have enough. Never enough dishes. Apparently. We must have more. Alright. So, the kids were teasing you that I was in a hillbilly gym cosplay because I'm currently wearing shorts with suspenders. What's wrong with shorts and suspenders? My grandfather always wore shorts with suspenders. Gotta keep them pants up. Would they rather you walk around flashing everybody? You don't want to trip and fall because your shorts fell down. My goodness. Kids today, they just don't understand. It's better this than alternatives. My goodness, there are times I would like to get a pair of suspenders for my pants and shorts. But sometimes belts just don't, they're not comfy. They're either too tight or they're digging into my stomach. Gotta keep them pants up. All right. If I could get this one to roll instead of fighting me. There we go. Okay. So let's get no, don't unravel. Nobody said for you to unravel. You're fine. We're definitely covering some ground here. I mean, we were about, what, here-ish when we started, so... doing pretty good. And the amount of time that we've been going here. Get this guy tucked into there. All right. So who's excited for patch day? Patch day is coming. Don't forget to take off your gear before a patch comes in. I understand that the trackers aren't working at the moment, but you don't want to get nailed with a surprise when you log in. Especially on your pacifists, if you're in white gear. You never know if what you're wearing is gonna suddenly change quality. Because they have done it without notice before. We got burned by it once during, when they were bringing in the cosmetic stuff, right? So, when they changed a lot of the holiday outfits from white to green, they just kind of did it on a patch and we had no idea they were doing it. So that kind of spooked us. So now we try to tell people, it's a patch coming, take your shit off. Only take you a minute. You can put it back on when you go to log in again. Just make sure that you're actually looking at your gear before you put it back on. Just make sure nothing changed there. Dang it. And like I posted in Discord, I forgot to put it in the news segment for Lita, but don't forget about the mall skip. We will be testing it. Zaya's got a couple characters to test it with. I think Fair does, and I do. So we will be looking at that when it goes live. I might not be looking at it until Wednesday. Hang on, let me look at my dates here. Yeah, so it's gonna go live on Tuesday. I'm not gonna look at it till Wednesday, but I'm sure Zaya and Fair are gonna look at it the second they're able to get in. We will post something to let you all know. I mean, I can use a test character on Tuesday, I guess, a trial class, and see what it's gonna look like. But you know, just don't use, if you're hellbent on doing it before we've had a chance to look at it and post if it looks good for you to go ahead and do with a challenger or not, don't use it on a live challenger until we've had the chance to. Do you have to have completed them all to take advantage of the skip? Maybe. I'm trying to think if they've said. You may have had to do it once. Because I think you have to have done... I think you have to have a 60 to get the Threads of Fate option. So I kind of feel like I would not be surprised if you do have to have done them all once before you can do the skippy skip. So I can't remember for sure, but maybe bank on that being a yeah. Because I know you can't get Threads until you've gotten a level 60. And Threads lets you bypass the storyline, which is... But you can reach 60 without entering the mall. Yeah, but it's gonna take a while. You can. And from a challenger's perspective, Bloodthirsty you can't. Bloodthirsty, there's no way to get to 60 following your rules without going into the mall and going into Bastion. But how did you do that, though? I mean, like, Bloodthirsties can't open chests after a certain point because some of them count as quests. They can't do pet battles. They can't do any holiday stuff. And their only option is to kill, so I think the mobs gray out in Tiergard between 53 and 56, I think, and that's no good. So it depends on your challenge. Pacifists can do it because they can do archaeology and Darkmoon Fair. Irons can do it because they can, like, Irons can get 60 without going through the mall. Fair's done it. It took her a long time, but she did it. Involved a lot of chests and holiday stuff. I am 52 on my iron and I have not gone into the mall yet. I don't really want to go into Shadowlands because I don't want to be hunting for iron safe dailies that are up, because my dumbass, something will go wrong. I'll just take it nice and slow. And we've got the anniversary event coming up next, along with Pilgrim's Bounty. And while Pilgrim's Bounty is more of a pacifist holiday and working man holiday, I think the Iron might be able to do a couple of things there. Not many, but a couple. Like, she might be able to do the sitting at the table one. Kind of looks like that was pulling up some paint there. But, oh shit, yeah, we're gonna be just short. Look at that. That's good, but annoying at the same time. Ugh. Now my nose is all itchy. But, yeah, so you don't have to go through them all with a pacifist, but yeah, just give us a chance to check it out first, before jumping in on a live challenger. You know, because we need to look at stuff. I am going to strongly suggest, if you're going to do this with a pacifist, I do strongly recommend that you have flying for Shadowlands. There's a lot of stuff next to the roads, and there's not that many nodes that are right on the road. And you're gonna want to get airborne quickly after getting your stuff, because I mean there's a lot of mobs around now. We've never seen, up to this point, we've never seen a node in Shadowlands spawn a mob. So we do think you'll be able to mine an herb there. You just have to watch what you're going after. Not every node is for every person. So you definitely want to scout if you haven't done any gathering out there, just to get a feel of patrols and what somebody could potentially be killing next to you. Some zones may be, or some islands. One zone may be better than the other to gather in. I personally, as much as I can't stand being in that zone, I think I'm just so burnt out from Bastion, but I think Bastion might be the safest one to gather in, honestly. I don't know about Ardenweald. Ardenweald's got a lot of mobs packed in tight in certain areas. Revendreth, you've got some stuff flying through the air. You've got some bats and gargoyles in certain areas. There might be a couple of flying things, like those lions, but I don't think they're that abundant. In Bastion, I think they're kind of just in specific areas, though I could be wrong. Because I don't have flying yet, so I haven't been in the air very much out there. But I would recommend having flying before taking your pacifist out there, because there's lots of mobs that like to do dotty things, and people like to mass pull, and you don't want to accidentally get a proc kill from somebody doing that. So I mean, while we feel like you'll be able to gather out there, it doesn't mean it's 100% safe. You're not going there. I mean, I might try to, just so I don't have to do archaeology for 10 levels, especially on my level 50, because I'm tired of doing archaeology. But we'll see. Oh my god, we're on the last section. I think we still might need to twist a few pieces here, but let's see. Or at least we're on the last section of the body. Oh, the blue body. We still have the butt to do. But I think I still need to get some stuff twisted for that section. Alright, so let's get that kind of set up, get some stuff on the edges here. Whew. Neck's definitely not happy today. Okay. So let's get back into work. Oh, my fingers are getting sore. Haven't figured out how I'm gonna handle the butt section here. Like, do we want to do the little circles, or do we want to do little balls? Like, I don't know. Doing the little balls would certainly be a lot easier because of the shapes. But I try not to take the easy way out, but and I know it would, like, the colors should be enough to break up the difference between both sections. But if we try to do these black cut-in sections, like, would it be better? I mean, I did twist all of that one color. I mean, we could just cut little tiny sections of it off. I mean, that is a possibility. Get this in place. I don't know. Gotta think about that for a minute. We've got a few minutes to get there. Alright. Get this put in. Yeah, we might have to twist a couple. Looking at how much we've got left. It's gonna be, like, I keep thinking it's gonna be close, but at the same time I'm like, no, I don't know. I just don't know about that. Alright. Getting this guy tapped into there. Alright. This is exciting. We've almost got the blue section put in. almost. So he didn't take too much longer. Definitely a lot faster than the background feathers, that's for certain. Okay. Getting this wrapped up around. Okay. Yeah. Alright, let's get that in. At least this section of glue shouldn't dry before we get everybody in. Sorry, I've got a piece of cat hair stuck to one of my fingers and I keep seeing it periodically. And then I lose it, and then I think I shook it off, and then I see it again. Alright, let's see if that piece will hold. I feel like it's gonna unravel. I have to get another one. Tucked up in here around it. Just to kind of help hold that one in place. This guy kind of squished into there. Alright, so we've got another piece here on the edge. Okay. See if we can get that to stay in place. I don't know. Sometimes these edge ones can be a little extra fussy. Alright. Congrats! Good job, sir. You're doing very well. Just be super careful. Ah! Spinning around, this thing doesn't want to stick. Okay. There we go. Kind of wants to stay. Maybe we will have enough. If we do have enough, it's gonna be just enough. I'm not so sure. I feel like we're gonna have to like twist like 10 or so. More than likely. No, 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 sit. Sit, stay. Don't be in a hurry to leave. Yeah, we are gonna need just a few more. So we only have like 4 left. And that's not gonna be quite enough to fill the remaining gap. Okay. Get this one twisted around. He's looking pretty spiffy. There on the camera. Alright. Getting this one looped around in there. Yeah, we need just a few more, so it's not too bad. Almost had enough. Almost. Alright, but we shouldn't need too much more here. Except now I've got like glue on my fingers, so they don't want to spin this or twist it very well. Nope, 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 nope. You need to stay put. So we'll see how well we can get this to cooperate here. I don't know. Alright, let's see. Okay. Ah. Hands are a little sweaty too, so I'm like trying to grab one piece and they're all sticking to my fingers, and I'm like, no. I only need one, dang it. Okay. Let's get this one wrapped into there. So yeah, we didn't have to twist too many, so that's good. And our body is just about complete. I think we need one more, well, the blue body. I keep forgetting this is still part of his body. Alright, what time is it? Oh, we're still dropping frames like crazy. Why? We shouldn't be. Should be no reason for that. Alright. And I think the dark blue might be done. I have to look at it from a different angle here. Let me see. Do we have any gappy gaps? Okay, so we do have a couple of gaps down in here. You guys can't really see it. I can though. So not too many. Got one here, one there. That's probably okay. So we have a few where I can see through to the color underneath, and it's not a huge deal, but it is something that I know will bug me personally, so go ahead and touch that up. As best as we can here. So we'll get that guy put in there. You can't see it because that's slightly off camera. You guys are only picking up the upper ones. that one laid in there. At least we don't have too many gaps to fill in. So, I mean, that's good. Right. So I do want to put in another one in that gap. Alright, now let's work on these upper ones that you guys can see the most. Okay. So, I mean, there'll be a little bit of glue overlapping here, but it's fine because that glue is going to dry clear. And there might be some spots that look a little bit shinier than others from the glue drying, but again, don't worry about that because the whole thing's going to get covered with Mod Podge at the end. And then the whole thing will have a slight shine to it, so it'll just kind of melt into the upper level of sealant. And once that's in, you won't be able to tell what was from the Tacky Glue and what was from the Mod Podge. Okay, and one more. Little gappy gap in there. Okay. So there's all of our blue. Alright, what time is it? Alright, so for this next section, I'm going to be working on in here. I don't know how far we're going to get on this today, on this section, because things and stuff. Definitely things and stuff. Alright, so just gonna spread this out just a little bit. Probably went a little too heavy here. But, you know, we want to make sure this next part's gonna stick. So, just drying off my brush real good. Okay, now I need, yes, we need this. So we're gonna get our black. And I'm gonna make sure these are twisted up as tight as we can get them. And just gonna start laying these in. Now these might require a little bit extra fussing. as they get laid in here. They might need like an extra layer in some places. We'll have to see what that looks like when it's dry. And take it from there. But we were always planning on doing this part in this section, or at least I was. So let's start to get that worked in. And hopefully this will be enough. So I think, so here's what I think we're gonna do to handle this section. I think we're gonna do all of the lines. We're not doing all lines today. Because I do need to start wrapping up here for today. But I think we'll put in all of our lines, and then we'll do the little paper ball things in the sections in between, since we're gonna have some color variation happening. I think that's probably gonna be the best way to handle that. And I also feel like it'll sort of tie in the texture from the head as well. So that's gonna be the plan for here, but for today, the thing I want to wrap up and finish getting done is going to at least be our outer edge line here. Okay. And again, I probably went way too heavy on that, but at least I know it should grip it pretty well and don't have to worry too much about it letting go in those spots. So one last rinse of our glue brush today. And we will get this last section in. What's wrong?
Nothing. Ugh.
Okay.
No, my mom was just asking things like where lids are and shit. Nothing important. I assure you, if it was important, I would interrupt what you're doing to tell you.
Alright. We'll get this put in here. Nope. Okay. Get that tucked in there. Now this one's a little bit on the thinner side, so I think I'm gonna grab this guy that we had cut off of the piece that we had to fit in over here. add them to there. Now I won't know if we'll need to double up this outer edge until all of this is dry. Hopefully we won't need to, but see, as it dries, then you can kind of see where it needs to be a little bit adjusted, or if it's coming up out of the glue. And if we have to add a second line on that top edge, we will. But that's a matter for when all of this is dry and in place. Okay. So let's get this one smushed into here. And then we've got this guy. Let's see if we can get him tapped into here. Okay. Make sure that this is, sometimes it's easier to fuss it into place as it's drying if it's shifted or anything, so sometimes you kind of just have to keep an eye on it as it's drying, because also the glue will have started to soak into the paper a little bit, and then you can manipulate it a little bit easier. But that's gonna be it for today, because I need to go and do some stuff. I need to eat, and yeah, so we'll see about squeezing in another bonus art stream this week. I don't know when, it depends on what else is happening, but we'll try, so keep an eye on Twitter. It's going to be at NiseyBGN, or make sure your notifications here or turned on, one of those, and I'll post. Might not be at the same time. If I do another bonus stream, it could be later in the evening, so do keep that in mind. But we'll see. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it, and we got his body done, so that's fun. And we started to lay in the groundwork for or at least the outline for the rest of his butt here. And we might not have the same number of arches in here when we get down to it, but yeah, we'll see. I might do those in like little paper balls just to make it easier on myself, but we will see what happens with that. So thank you guys. If there isn't another art stream before Wednesday, then I will see you on Wednesday. Take care. Have a good evening. Stay safe if you're doing any Halloween partying tonight. And until next time, have a good one.